Welcome to the Hollis Chapman Show, where we celebrate the power of words and the beauty of storytelling. Join us every week. We have conversations with authors and small business owners. We have exciting lineup of guests who will take us on a literary journey like no other. Join us as we delve into the world of authors and small business owners from diverse backgrounds and cultures, each bringing their own unique perspective and voice to the table. From thrilling memoirs to captivating fiction and business startups, our guests will share their stories, their struggles, and their triumphs, offering us a glimpse into the rich tapestry of human experience. Immerse yourself in the magic of words and discovery as we explore the global literary landscape together.
Hello, Marilyn.
Hi there. How are you, Hollis?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's so nice to be on your show.
Thank you very much for joining us. You sound wonderful.
Oh, thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. So I'm gonna mute your mic one more time so we can finish the intro, and then I'm gonna give you an intro because we're so excited to have you on the show today. So
Oh,
hold
thank
tight.
you.
All right, hold tight.
So grab a cup of tea, cozy up by the fire, and join us on this adventure of a lifetime. The Hollis Chapman Show is your ticket to a world of imagination, inspiration, and enlightenment. Don't miss out on the opportunity to connect with some of the most talented and compelling voices in literature today. Tune in and let the journey begin.
Hello, and welcome to the Hollis Chapman Show. Happy Friday. I'm so excited. You can probably tell. I'm very excited to have my guest here today, okay? She's awesome. She is. My guest is award-winning author, retired New York University professor, TV show creator, writing coach, working with successful novelists, produced screenwriter. And that's a good thing I want you listeners to understand and listen to. She helps you with your screenwriting. Very hard. She does it. She's got a book out about screenwriting. Okay, I think New York University has a copy of that to help people with screenwriting. Because we get a lot of authors who have their stuff should be going on TV and should be going to movies, but they're hard. She can help. Without further ado, let's cut to the chase with our special guest, Marilyn Horowitz. Yay!
Nice.
Thank you, ma'am, for joining us. We really appreciate you coming on, sharing your knowledge with us and your newest and greatest book. So tell us more about yourself. I didn't want to get too much deeper because I want you to tell the listeners what else you do. Nominated for Emmy stuff and Peabody's, all of the great stuff you've done for other authors. So tell us more about yourself and your newest book.
Okay. My new book is called Bad Girl Pie, and it's a black comedy about, surprise, a writer. She's she's actually a ghostwriter of celebrity cookbooks. And after her father dies, she has a dream, and she's told that if she doesn't write her own book, she will become a ghost. And for all of you would-be writers, you got to get that book written. Okay, it's not about getting it published; it's about getting it written. So Dorothy is up against that, and she does that, and then her best friend, who's her agent, steals the book and gives it to a YouTube wannabe. And as you can imagine, that causes Dorothy considerable distress. And after a couple of other terrifying things, including finding out that her ex boyfriend, who has come to win her back, is also living with this cleaning lady in Sin, yeah, she kind of loses it. And uh, she actually tries to off herself with oxycodone. It fails. She wakes up and she laughs and she says, "Okay, I'm still here. Did I succeed or did I fail?" And that's her sense of humor. And it perks her right up, and she goes off. And a friend of hers asks her to actually write a book to help a tango teacher help a movie star do a good job in a movie. And that leads her to her own success and finding herself as a writer.
Beautiful. Marilyn, what inspired you to write your book? Then I want you to talk about that. Plus, I also want you to talk about the cover and the title. I think it's so cool. It looks great. It's very catchy. And as I'm
Oh,
learning it, as I'm teaching, the cover and stuff like that is so much part of the book movement. Getting in your book cover is just catchy, pulls you right in. So tell
oh,
us about, what inspired you. Go ahead, ma'am.
well, I guess the idea is it Dorothy or Dots as she is called, has a wicked sense of humor, and she's a naughty girl, and she enjoys sex and she enjoys food, and she's very, very unconventional. And when the publishers asked me, what I wanted for a cover, I said I wanted, a sexy picture of a blonde holding a pie, because that's that's the essence of the story, right?
Yeah.
It was I had to decide between a pie and tango shoes, and I thought that the pie was more accessible. And so they came up with this fabulous cover. I mean, I have to give them all the credits.
And the title Bad Girl Pie. Kind of explain that a little bit
Okay,
more.
sure.
Bad Girl Pie. Go ahead.
Well, the original title was called The Naked Tango because that's what brings her to life. She has an affair with a married tango dancer at a certain point in the story who's also a firefighter. And that tryst, and by the way, I have to brag and say that all my readers tell me that that is a really hot piece of writing. Um, as she comes back to life. And the denouement of the book is that I told you her book is stolen, but she discovers that there's one recipe that she hadn't handed in, and that's the recipe that resuscitates her career. And the recipe is for bad girl pie. And bad girl pie is when you've been naughty and you feel bad about yourself, or you've had a nasty breakup. You take a pie shell. The book also has recipes. You put in all the gooey, sweet Halloween miniatures you can find. You douse it with bourbon and brown sugar. You bake it in a pie crust for about 45 minutes, and then you cover it with whipped cream and vanilla ice cream. And when you eat the whole thing, by the end of it, you can't remember the guy's name or what it was that you did.
How does your book balance laugh out loud dark comedy with serious themes like abuse, betrayal, and reinvention? Because a lot of that we can laugh, then maybe we can cry. We can laugh and cry. We get very emotional. So how did you do when you start writing that and putting it all together to get a good story out of it?
I think that's how I write. I mean, I mean, I've been a writing coach for 25 years, and teaching at NYU has been my devoted hobby until recently. And what I try to do is to get people to be able to put the complexity of their minds on paper. And so I hope from what you said, which I find very flattering, that I was able to do that, because we are all complex.
Yeah, that's good. Your book, that Dorothy Sherlock is a ghostwriter and an unlikely heroine with this again. Explain ghostwriting and how important it is today's world, and what does her journey say about taking back creative power. So you ghostwrite, you do some things, and all of a sudden you got to have some kind of power. You got to have some kind of satisfaction from what you just did, or what kind of credit you get from writing your book. Can I
You have
explain
to
that
own
more?
yourself. You see,
Yeah.
how's the difference is I mean, she describes herself as a method writer, and what she does um, is she puts on, she gets a hold of a pair of the celebrity that she's going to write the cookbook memoir for. That's what she writes, and she wears the shoes while she writes it, and she's just able to kind of tune into their wavelength and speak in their voice. And that's a talent. There are many actors who would love to have her talent. Um, but there's a point at which, and when her father dies, we all have these sudden, run-ins with our own mortality.